There is no indication of how Northwestern University took advantage of the sudden suspension of IU. There was no indication how Northwestern took advantage of IU's sudden suspensions. Matt Cohen special. For IndyStar show Caption hide caption on IU basketball suspensions. Obviously it affected the game. IU insiders Zach Osterman and Dustin Doperak analyze the Hoosiers' loss to Northwestern and discuss the suspension of 5 players. Zach Osterman and Dustin Doperak, Indianapolis Star Evanston, IL. The graduate assistants knew first. Northwestern head coach Chris Collins had a lot to pay attention to before an eventual 59-51 win over Indiana. And frankly, nothing looked out of the ordinary, at least maybe not on the court. He was in a sold-out Welsh-Ryan Arena filled with both a stronger-than-normal student section and a remainder of the purple seats in the building drowned out by cream and crimson. Indiana, for better or worse, Mike Woodson's suspension decision will ripple well beyond Northwestern. The court looked normal. He had no reason to expect anyone other than guard Rob Finney would warm up for Indiana. Had been out since January 26 with plantar fasciitis, and the most recovery he's made was an upgrade to walking on his injured foot Tuesday night with a boot on, graduating past the scooter he had been using. Otherwise, Collins looked out on the floor and saw every other Indiana player warming up, minus the walk-ons who didn't travel. He saw Xavier Johnson, Parker Stewart, Tamar Bates, Michael Durr and Christian Lander all in uniform, all in layup line. He had no idea what his graduate assistants had just found out on Twitter. I mean, there was no indication that they weren't going to play, Collins said. So we really didn't find out until 12 minutes before the game. Rumors of the 5 suspensions to Johnson, Stewart, Bates, Durr and Lander swirled in the hours leading up to IU's game against Northwestern at Welsh-Ryan Arena. Collins had anticipated IU's full roster. IU came to Evanston expecting to use its full roster, too. IU head coach Mike Woodson said IU's preparation for a roster that would feature only 7 scholarship players, and only actually play 6 of them, began the morning of the game itself. IU's pregame radio show noted the team would be shorthanded and an official statement from IU didn't come until 8:43 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 17 minutes before the scheduled 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tip-off. The starting lineups were filed and Collins saw instead of the usual front court of Johnson and Stewart, Trey Galloway would start as point guard and Anthony Leal start as the shooting guard. Collins credited Galloway for playing fantastic. He noted Jordan Geronimo, too, playing on the wing when that's certainly not his normal role. Despite IU effectively having only 6 players, Collins credited IU for making it hard. But once he found out, on such short notice, his strategy adjusted. We really made a point to try to continue, even though we weren't scoring a lot. We wanted to push the tempo, Collins said, because we knew those guys were going to have to play a lot of minutes and hopefully fatigue did play a little bit of a factor. Northwestern's players didn't know either. The graduate assistants had told the coaches. They were the only ones on their phones, and not even the players all heard from there. Northwestern guard Boo Buie didn't have any idea what was going on until his assignment was changed. He had prepped to guard Johnson and Stewart among others. He never saw them on the floor. I still don't know what happened, Buie said after the game. He noticed something was off when IU didn't make many substitutions in the first half. For the whole game, every single one of IU's 5 starters played at least 34 minutes. Geronimo played 17 minutes off the bench. Walk-on Nathan Childress played 3. That was it. After the first half and they didn't sub anyone, I knew something was up, Buie said. I'm like, yeah, these guys ain't not playing. Collins' plan to exploit IU's fatigue worked, especially in the second half. Foul trouble for IU cut the rotation further, and it showed. Collins said he tried to keep a big body on Tracy Jackson Davis and Race Thompson the whole time. To be physical, to tire them. It worked. It led to Jackson Davis scoring 13 points on 13 shots. It led to Thompson scoring 14 points on 13 shots. It led to Northwestern picking up a win that will allow it, as Collins said, to play meaningful games down the stretch, and to IU, suspensions and all, garnering a stain on its NCAA tournament resume. Facebook, Twitter, email.